Welcome to another Money Morning Routine. Not a lot happening with my finances today. I was just looking at March. If we go to my expense tracker, on my checking account expense tracker, I had one thing come out. It was my Hulu subscription. It goes under my fun and entertainment category for $18.52. Now, I did get some questions on Miko. Why do you put your streaming services and that type of thing under fun and entertainment? So that's a great question. Some people have it under maybe a subscription or membership kind of category. Some people even put it under utilities. For me, it's a form of entertainment, and that's the category I choose to put it under. If you go to the beginning of your workbook, that is why it's really important, and I've always done fun and entertainment. It's really important to fill out the budget category organizer. Now you can see my fun and entertainment, which is this green color here. It includes Hulu, Spotify, Netflix, YouTube TV, all my streaming services, right? Any activities, my vacations. So when I track vacation spending, it doesn't go in its own vacation category. It goes under my fun and entertainment. So HBO, if we maybe get the UFC fights and we have friends over, that goes under fun and entertainment. So it really depends on you personally and what makes the most sense to you. Let's talk about budget categories for a second. The number one thing when it comes to figuring out your budget categories is you want to keep it simple. And number two, you want to be consistent. The reason we track our spending, if we go to say January, the reason we track our spending is so we're able to gather the important information we need to make better money decisions in the future. That's why we track our spending, right? It's so we know what's going on. And it's really hard to notice those trends or maybe problem areas in your budget if you're inconsistent in the way you organize your expenses. So for instance, if I were to put, say, my streaming services in, utilities one month and then put it in fun and entertainment the next month, and I keep switching and going back and forth, and then I look at my spending in my fun and entertainment category across the board, maybe for the last 6 months, it's not going to be accurate, right? Because there's some months it wasn't in my fun and entertainment category. The only way we can notice those types of trends or really look back at our spending and do a complete accurate analysis of that information is if we are consistent in the way we organize it. That's why it's really important to fill out the budget category organizer. So what you're going to do here is you're going to put up in the top box your budget category. And then you're going to put in the color that so I use the highlighter method. So the color that represents the category, then down in the boxes, you're going to write what transactions go under that category. So maybe if you forget you're tracking your spending, you're like, man, I don't remember what category I put that under. You can come back to your category organizer. People ask me all the time, Miko, how do you even come up with your budget categories? There is one really, really simple way. And that is, especially if you've never tracked your spending before, right? Pull the last month to 2 months of your bank statement or wherever you're doing your spending. Grab a bunch of highlighters. Start highlighting transactions. For example, all of your gas and car purchases, highlight in purple. Okay. All of your food purchases, highlight in pink. All of your clothing purchases. So start going through and highlighting transactions with different colors. You just created your budget categories. Your spending did it for you. Your job is not to create categories to make things complicated or pull them out of thin air. Your spending should be a reflection of your values and what's going on in your life accurately, realistically, right? So it only makes sense for us to then make our budget categories based on that spending. Now, am I saying you can't ever tweak it? No. But it helps, and it's imperative that we start from the place we are truly at and work to the place we want to go. So that is the budget category organizer. And if you haven't done this, start that today. Pull that bank statement, start highlighting. Your budget categories will do themselves. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, Miko, I have food. I do have food, but I have eating out and I have groceries. Do I put them under one food category? Do I separate them out? Remember, simplify. Keep it simple. One food category, unless you are telling yourself, man, I'm really noticing a lot of eating out. I kind of want to track this on its own. Then do separate categories. But we only really get into the nitty gritty and really start separating them out when we are specifically wanting to look at that one single category to track it, because maybe we're like, this does not look good. We want to know more about this spending. So that's the budget category organizer. Now, another thing I am working on is March and getting that done. You can see I have my calendar prepped, but I went ahead and written in some important dates. So we have a baseball dinner banquet for my husband on the 8th. I have a dentist appointment on the 5th. I have another half marathon that I'm racing called the Shamrock Shuffle on the 16th. We have St. Patrick's Day. We have Spring Forward, thank goodness. We have International Women's Day. It's a lot happening in March. So now my next goal is to look at my March budget, start getting those fixed bills and expenses so I can get those also on my calendar, and then really finalizing that March budget. I'm working a couple months in advance and I absolutely love it, and that is my Monday morning routine.